Well, just kind of take us from beginning to end, where you were born, tell us about your life, where you went to school, some things you used to do growing up.
That's a long story.
Our children coming home from wherever they might have started out in life, whether that be, from foster care or from places that were unsafe, maybe treatment themselves, and come into a safe place where they could get themselves ready to learn. So education, wellness, and most importantly, learning how to love one another is what the Academy stood for, and what we'll ultimately do with all those children that are there today, and continue to do that with the children that have graduated and are now adults and raising their own families.
Says Jayatius Quail, so it's an ohiluk, quanasanad tatchal at untalk. Langadatsa and Stalachatius Quail siam. Quian sasanatsa. Unstila matza and Jatquanatius Quail siam.
Feels good to be home. January 12th, and my mom passed away that night. The same night I found out that, my lady at the time was pregnant. That same night, I didn't know what to do. I was just so shook and, just scared of life at that point.
There's kids who need this youth academy and who have no other options, who have no family. So I just want to give thanks to always having your doors open for our Lummi Trouble community members, and just for being that auntie figure, that mother figure, that sister figure, that uncle figure, that dad figure that we all need.
When we had our talking circles all the time as a family, we would always, have a talking circle. Oh my God, it's making me tear up. And we'd talk about our feelings, and we'd be together, and we get to let all that stuff out that happened that week. That's what I really miss doing.
I saw you again. It felt like we had never met.
There was a time at the Academy where we were able to really provide full services and hit on all cylinders when it came to meeting the children where they were at in their wellness journey. And what I mean by that is we had a mental health counselor, chemical dependency counselor, nurse, teacher, and staff all full-time employed at the Academy. And that really worked when a child came home from school maybe, or on an outing over the weekend, and they're triggered by an event or by a person, and they were traumatized. And more often than not, they would either want to medicate that trauma or act out, and whether it be violence or whether it be some type of depression. With the full staff there, they could talk to somebody about it in real time and not have to go through the clinical approach of, set up an appointment and come and see me in a couple of weeks. That really worked, and it made it truly a safe environment for our children to live in.
You'd feel at home there. You'd always feel loved and get the right, I don't even know how to explain it. You'll just grow up in the right way. And you could always know that you can go to Daryl, Tammy, and any of the workers who work there, and Like if you have anything that's bothering you, you could always talk to them about it, you know? Or if you're hungry, you could just go right in the fridge and get whatever. They always had a lot of food and everything. But I feel like the academy saved my life when I was younger, you know? I think that if I didn't move into the academy, I wouldn't have even graduated or anything like that.
The other part is getting the kids up every day to go to school, and that really brought grade points up from like a 0.5, and I think the best year we had was like a 2.86 cumulative grade point average. It was very measurable that when kids get up and they're fed and nurtured and they want to go to school every day, and they do well in the classroom.
The story came back to me that you could always tell an academy kid because they were focused, they were polite, they were courteous, and they didn't cause trouble in school.
But just seeing the kids excited to come home from school and to get their snacks, and just we laugh up here in study hall as we, you know, open our books and get started, and they tell me about their highs and lows for the day, and yeah, just bonding with the kids before we start school stuff.
General feeling about the very beginning.
Well, in the beginning when we were doing all the interviews, it was sad to hear their stories and what they've been through. To me, you know, kids are a blessing, they're a miracle, and it's not right that some of the things the kids had to go through. That was the really sad part, to know the families, and then also to understand a little bit about who their families were and why they were in those situations, because we've never dealt with our trauma. We've never dealt with our cycles that families have to get our people the help. So yeah, at the beginning I got swore at a lot. I cried a lot. Wondered if I could do it.
Going to Northwest and getting my AA and doing Running Start wasn't even in the picture until I moved here and found out that there's like so many more opportunities for me, and it kind of opened up my life, and kind of this place really guided me. Like all the mentors here helped me a lot, and the staff here is just like very supportive of what you want to do in life.
I used to tell them this old story that when the little boy wanted to go on his journey, and he had to make it to the plains before dark time, right? So he's hoofing it along and everything, and had his little backpack and everything, and he's going to be a man, you know, live out in the woods by himself. But he looked down there and there's this little snake. And anyways, the snake was like, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going on a journey to be a man." He said, "Can I go?" And he goes, "Well, come along if you can keep up." And he goes, "No, will you pick me up and put me in your pocket?" So he goes, "No, because you'll bite me." And he goes, "I promise I won't bite you." So the little boy said, okay. He picked him up and put him in his pocket, and they're getting along and everything and stuff. So when they get to the woods, he reached in his pocket to pull him out, and the snake bit him. And the snake said, "You know what I was when you picked me up." And the same as I tell them with alcohol and drugs, you know what it is, and you know what it's going to do. It's going to bite you later, you know.
I'm so thankful to be a part of that decision and to listen to the concerns, because those were viable concerns, but to move forward with taking care of our children. And I'm blessed to be a part of that story, because it was the story behind the story. It was a financial investment that will take care of our children as long as it exists, because we as Lummi people will always want our children to be taken care of in one way or another, whether it's at the academy or in the homes of our relatives. And that's very important to the success of our future, because those kids will someday be able to pay it forward, to pay it back by taking care of other friends and relatives, nieces and nephews, younger siblings. We know this because that's who we are as Lactamish people.
Dang, I just have to tell them, stay in school, stay away from drugs, strive for greatness. Just, there's so much opportunity like given to you that you can take. You can do a lot more than what, you know, like what time now, what society and like your age group and all that stuff has to like provide and say like, this is for you, you know? You can do a lot more, be an influence and just help others.
When you feel scared or when you feel like you can't do something, ground yourself and look at the mountains and look at the water and look at the sky and realize that you belong here, that your people have been here forever, and you're meant to do what you want to do, and you're capable of it. Just make sure that you keep good friends around, because boy, do you need them.
Happy 10-year anniversary, Lummi Youth Academy. I'm so honored to be able to be a part of your success story.
Sometimes I don't want to go anywhere, I just want to be here. Even though it could be boring, but it's just the atmosphere.
I got this thing to where I used to tell them, hey, I got bit by a wolf when I was a kid. And I'd say, watch, feel it. You could feel my dog jaw. And when they go to do it, I go, and then about scare the wits out of them, you know?
And we know it's important to recognize those that inspired the birth of the Lummi Youth Academy. Elders Ernestine Jensaw, Danita Washington, and others that knew that we needed to provide a safe place for our children. And with the help of the Lummi Indian Business Council, Lummi Housing, the Gates Foundation, we were able to do that. And as we move forward, we recognize that there will be many successes and failures, and that we need to embrace them all and continue to learn to grow together as a people.